Good, happy Wednesday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday evening, so let's begin. First up, let's take a look at your COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. And here is a look at that COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. Your global cases are 138,004,199. Your U.S. cases are 31,417,160. Your global deaths are 2,970,298. And your U.S. deaths are 564,280. And that is a look at your Johns Hopkins COVID-19 dashboard for all of you for this Wednesday evening. Now let's get to your other news. First up, 2 men arrested in 1996 disappearance of Kristen Smart. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
From discovery to delivery, our commitment drives us to bring
Smart, the college student who went missing nearly 25 years ago. 2 men have been arrested, including a fellow student last seen with her, and police are crediting a podcast with the break in the case. Amy has the details. Good morning, Amy.
That's right, George. After years of calling Paul Flores a prime suspect, police finally arrested him for murder. His father, Ruben, arrested as an accessory to murder. And this morning, a search on his property for Kristen's body as her family hopes to finally find some closure. This morning, Paul Flores waking up behind bars, accused of murdering college student Kristen Smart nearly 25 years ago. Flores has been under suspicion since Smart disappeared back in May of 1996. He was the last person spotted with the 19-year-old, seen walking her home from a party at California Polytech State University in San Luis Obispo the night she went missing.
Paul remained as a person of interest, and as the case progressed, became a suspect and the prime suspect in the case. Detectives secured a court order authorizing the interception and monitoring of Paul Flores' cell phone and text messages.
On Tuesday, police also arresting Paul's father, Ruben, as an accessory, searching the 80-year-old's property last month with cadaver dogs and using ground-penetrating radars. Police say they found evidence there, but have still not found her body. Smart's family has been hoping for answers for decades.
It's definitely been tough. We don't have closure. We don't know what's happened, and it's been 20 years.
Police say the popular podcast, Your Own Backyard, which shed a new light on Smart's disappearance, helped lead them to the arrests.
Part of the reason that I first got involved with telling the story of Kristen Smart was that things had been too quiet.
The podcast introducing new witnesses in the case, including one woman who says she spoke to Ruben's wife after Smart disappeared.
I worked with her, and she shared with me that Ruben, in the middle of the night, had gotten a phone call, and he just, took off. And she was very puzzled by that.
They've been waiting for this for way too long, but it's also surreal, and it's hard to take it all in.
This morning, Smart's family calling the arrests bittersweet, saying it is impossible to put into words what this day means for our family. We pray it is the first step to bringing our daughter home. Paul remains behind bars with no bail. His arraignment is scheduled for tomorrow, and Ruben's bail was set at $250,000. We reached out, but the Flores family is not speaking right now, and Paul's attorney says they will not comment on ongoing litigation. Guys, back to you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Once again, a podcast.
Yeah.
A podcast, as we've seen before, leads to...
brings a lot of public interest. It leads to solving these cases.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. At least 6 rescued, others missing after commercial boat capsized off Louisiana coast. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Commercial ship capsized in a storm, sending 18 people into the water. At least 6 have been saved by the Coast Guard and some Good Samaritans. Victor Kindo has the latest on the search for survivors. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, George. That lift boat was in some severe weather when it capsized. Another ship nearby reported a wind gust up to 100 miles per hour. The rough conditions making rescue efforts very difficult. This morning, the desperate search for survivors after a large boat capsized in the Gulf of Mexico off the Louisiana coast. The first call for help came in around 4:30 p.m., just as severe weather was hammering the area, capsizing this massive lift boat with 18 people on board. Seacorp Power's 129-foot lift boat's massive pylon sticking out of the water as the Coast Guard races in, quickly rescuing 2. Guards seen here pulling this man out of the water onto a cutter. Good Samaritans closest to the scene jumping into action too, helping save another 4 people.
We'll continue to search until all reasonable efforts have been given.
Lift boats like this one normally help transport supplies to offshore construction and oil rigs. In total, 6 have been rescued, but more are missing. The Coast Guard scouring the area by air and sea into the night. The Coast Guard crediting those Good Samaritans and the emergency beacon that notified them where to search. Unfortunately, there's more severe weather expected in the area today.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Officer who shot Dante Wright could be charged today. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Center, Minnesota, with more on this. Stephanie, we heard there in your piece that Potter resigned, but the mayor has to accept that resignation, and he hasn't accepted it yet. He hasn't ruled out firing her, apparently. When can we expect to hear more on that?
That's correct, Diane. So it's unclear when we will hear more, but as you heard in the piece, we asked the mayor, did he accept the resignation letter? He said no, and he was very direct with that. But he also said that he needed to evaluate the evidence and also the process. It seems as though this is still a very fluid situation. They're looking at all of the different options that they can take. But he also understands that this is a community that is hurting. It's going to take a lot of changes within the police department, within the city, to comfort this community. So when we spoke with the mayor, he said he couldn't really elaborate on the officer's current status, but at this point, he has not accepted that resignation letter and is still trying to figure out how to move forward. And as I said earlier, firing her is not out of the question.
All right, Stephanie Ramos in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Thanks, Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. President Biden expected to announce removal of troops in Afghanistan. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
American history. Officials say Biden will pull all U.S. troops out of Afghanistan by September 11th, 20 years since the terror attacks that started the war. Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega has the details. Cecilia, good morning.
Diane, good morning to you. So there are still as many as 3,500 American troops in Afghanistan right now. This drawdown would bring that number down to 0. It's been called America's longest war. It's been called America's forever war. And just take a look at these numbers. They're absolutely staggering. More than 2,300 U.S. troops killed in this time period. More than 40,000 Afghan civilians killed there. The cost, $825 billion. Now, the administration says that threats facing the United States have changed in the last 2 decades, that Al-Qaeda no longer poses a threat to the homeland. Republicans say this strategy of drawing down these troops right now, though, abandons our allies in the region. Mitch McConnell says this is turning tail and running, but the administration says humanitarian aid will still be provided to that region. Diane, after the president makes this announcement today, he then heads over to Arlington Cemetery, not too far from the White House, where he will be paying tribute to those service members who were killed in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq.
All right, Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega, thanks for that, Cecilia.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And switching gears now, let's go into weather. Here's a look at your weather across the United States for this Wednesday evening. As you can see over here, there's some snow and some rain, and some snow and rain over here. Some rain over here as well, and rain over here as well, and here as well, and over here, some snow and rain in Washington as well. Otherwise, some dry spots in the rest of the United States. And that is a look at your weather across the United States for this Wednesday evening. And that does it for this Wednesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening and see you back here tomorrow with more news coverage. Good night and goodbye.